Hello everybody, it is April and here with me today is Ladybug. She has agreed to be our model because some people have been asking if I could do some tutorial videos on how to cut hair. So today we are just going to be doing a basic straight across haircut. This could be for short hair, but I am using her long hair and she does not want me to cut off more than probably a half an inch. So this will give you the general idea. You can take off more, but what you want to start with is clean hair and you want it to be wet. And so if it's not, we're going to go ahead and just use some water. You can make your own kind of detangler by putting a little bit of conditioner in it and shaking it up. I just reuse old detangler bottles. And so we're going to go ahead and wet it down. I already did part it in two here, so it's going to be easier to handle. You don't want a very big section. This is going to be our beginning area, and then it will help us with the rest of the haircut and be our guide. And I do want to mention with curly hair that there might be times you want to do it wet, but remember it will shrink up. Usually with curly hair you do cut it dry. But if you do cut it wet, make sure that you remember that that density is going to shrink up and it will appear shorter once it is dry. Move her around so you can see, okay Ladybug, remember what Mom taught you? To stand up, sit up straight. And thank you. And then if you are going to want to make sure are you straight? Okay, and then you have them tilt their head down, kind of tuck their chin. Make sure they're sitting straight, their legs are not crossed. You want a straight area. Okay. And you also, it's kind of hard for the video because you want to be square with them. You don't want to be over here. You want to be right with them. And we're going to take this middle section here. And this is where you decide how much you want to take off. So she doesn't want very much, so I'm just going to take that. And you cut it straight across. You also want to be sure that you're not pulling it like this or doing anything like that with your fingers. Just straight down and cut. Just like that. Then you're going to take these sides. You are going to just use this guide here, and you're going to cut even with that. Just like that. And there's your guide, and you're going to cut. And then you want to make sure they're straight because she likes to move around a lot. And then you can set down your comb and shears. And there's a couple ways you can check this to see if this is even. You can just run your hands on both sides. Make sure you have sides in the area that are the same place. This right side I can feel is a little bit shorter, so we're going to go check ourselves. Another way you can also, that some people do, is they use a comb. Okay, you gotta sit still, little squirmy bug. And they use it like that, and you can tell that that's a little bit shorter. So we're just gonna go ahead. Okay, no moving, because if you move it, then it takes our guide and makes it, you're gonna get a crooked haircut. Oh, are you sitting straight? There you go. And this is harder on younger kids because they do squirm a lot. So you just got to work with them, be patient. So you can see where that was longer. So you can either do that or you can work in smaller sections and check that. And if you have to go over it a few times, that is fine, so you get kind of used to it. All right, now that you made sure you have that even, we're going to go ahead and drop down our next section. So just take whichever side you want And we're not going to do big sections, probably you want only about 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch, because you want to be able to see through that underneath there for your guide. And since she had previous layers, we might not be able to cut too much length off of her. Actually, we'll have to see how it goes. I tried to convince her to let us do a little bit more drastic of a cut, but she said nope. It's taken her too long to grow out her beautiful hair that I'm very jealous of. Then we're gonna wet that hair too, because you want it all to be evenly saturated. And have them again tuck their chin. You don't have to do it quite that far. There you go. Perfect. Good job. Then again, start with that middle section, and you're going to be able to see. So that right there is going to be your guide. So we'll do it again so you can. And that's why it's important that you don't get too much out of there. And like I said, there's not going to be too much length that we're cutting off of her today. But if you do too big of sections, you're not going to be able to see that hair coming through. And then you just repeat the steps from the first, where you just take that in little sections, take off any there, and just repeat. Alright, so I actually had to pause the video between the dog whining and then she was moving like a crazy thing, and so we went and got the iPad the perfect fix, and now her head is actually in the position I need it to be. So we're going to continue on. And I am going to go just double check that section, and then we're going to go ahead, take it down again. I know this is repetitive, but it does just take repetitive steps, especially if you have as much hair as she does. And now here we are going to start taking, and with her I don't think there's going to be much we're going to take off. You would if she didn't have layers, you would want to do those tiny little sections, but I don't even know if there will be any, so we'll check. But I'm just going to show you the section that you'd want to do, and we want to do from behind the ear and up. We don't want to take this hair from here because it does mess up the straightness of your cut. And just make sure it's all evenly saturated yet again. You want it to all be either totally dry or totally wet the same, because then you would have half wet, half dry. It will kind of have that different density when it shrinks and will look uneven. Here's the guide. The little bit of whisper is just a little bit to cut. We're going to take these sides now, and we're going to start our side area. And again, just take that small section, not too thick. Now this, she's not going to be able to watch her iPad. You're going to have to pause it for this. Okay. Now, if you want the by the book straight across haircut, then you're going to be, let me get my shirt, just having them look like that, and you will just pull all of that hair straight back, and you would just cut. and that would be the by the book technique. But what I usually do, they taught me in school, is you can have them also go like that. Are you looking straight? Okay, freeze. And this sometimes, if it can make them more, like if they wiggle like that and move, will make them more kind of rounded sometimes edge. So if you don't, you want to be careful with that if you don't like that. Me, with her hair, I always make that face frame, so it doesn't matter. You're going by your guide and you're just cutting off what little there is. Her hair was framed around her face previously, so there's not a lot to take off. And then you just go to the other side and repeat that step. And then we're just gonna do the remaining sections of hair that same way. So we'll go ahead and time lapse all of this, show you what it looks like. There shouldn't be too much to cut on her because of her previous layers. And then we'll be back for the end. So there it is after I have gone over all the sections and double checked everything. That is, like I said, just a straight across haircut. We'll go ahead and turn her around. As you could tell, she was being all sorts of wiggly, so I did have to go over the sections quite a few times. And she was too that she was deciding to wiggle. That didn't help matters either. But overall, she was a pretty good model. And I'm actually going to do a video on layers as well. If that's something that you guys would want to watch, you can check it out. That way you guys don't have to watch a longer video. We can do it in two, so you can go check that out if you want. But thanks for watching this video. I hope that it was informative, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.